We are going to bring you the top 15 things that you don't need for your RV.
That's right. There's plenty of stuff out there about the essentials.
Yeah.
These are the essentials that aren't essential.
Where are we off to, babe?
Well, we're going to go to the store and probably make some fools of ourselves as we walk around.
Total fools.
Yeah, with a big camera. Let's get going.
All right, let's go. I forgot the list. Had to turn around. Here we go. Now, we know that not everybody RVs the same, and we probably RV a lot differently than many other people. So the things on our list of the things that you don't need might not be the same as yours.
One thing that's often suggested is to get a Wi-Fi booster, and we have found that actually that's not very helpful for us because, well, one, we're boondocking a lot, so we're not in an area that has great Wi-Fi. It is important to realize that this does not mean a cell phone signal booster, which is something that's different. I've heard that if you spend a lot of times in parks, they can be useful because they help pick up a signal that's little and they make it bigger. But for us, being that we boondock that much and we still run a lot of the internet and things off of our phone, it's just not an essential.
Toys. You don't need a ton of toys, even if you're traveling with your kids. We have 3 kids. Each of them have approximately a shoebox worth of toys. Chloe maybe a little bit more, and they learn to love what they have, and it swaps out fairly regularly, and they play outside a ton, so you don't need to bring your entire toy room.
Why don't you guys have a big cooler? And we do have a decent sized one, but we'll say this, we've gotten to the point now where we learn to pack everything as far as lunches and stuff like that into a backpack sized cooler that we just wear around. So while these can be handy, it's a lot of space and you don't necessarily need it. Here's a great example of that cooler that we're talking about. This isn't the one that we use, but it's an Igloo backpack cooler. I mean, for a day, lunching, hiking, stuff like that, this is it. These kind of things work way better than having a big, large cooler.
You don't have to keep your dinette or any furniture for that matter that's already in your RV. You can use something like a really simple table like this. It'll give you a lot more space to move around in your RV, and it's not that expensive. It also might help you lose some weight.
One thing that did surprise me a lot was that all of our, well, not all of our camping gear, but the tents especially, we left them behind after 1 year because, you know what, we used it one time. That was our Assateague Island. It was really amazing to have it, but it's heavyweight and we just didn't use it. It's not essential, so buy tent. This is one of my favorites. RV toilet paper. This is one of my biggest schemes out there that these companies get you with. This is in a separate aisle, right? It's not with the regular stuff. And I guess they call it that because it says 2-ply. You know what, guys? If it says septic safe, it's fine in your RV. It's not about the toilet paper you use, it's how you manage your black tanks. And there's tons of videos out there about it. If you're curious, you can check out one of ours right up here. But gimmick, you can use regular toilet paper as long as it says septic safe on it, and most of them are. So just check the labels.
What are these? They look fancy.
They're fancy.
These are not fancy.
What?
All right.
Okay, you don't need a coffee pot. What? I know some of you are like, yes, I do. You don't understand.
You need coffee.
You need coffee, but you can get coffee from a pour over or from a French press, and they store much easier. You can't set them to have coffee ready for you in the morning, but we have not had a coffee pot really for years, so you don't need one.
Now, we do use these, right? Water filtration. This is just a carbon filter, and it works great for us. Some people out there are gonna have some super fancy, expensive things that do work really well. A Berkey comes to mind, and while those are great, they're not totally essential to have. If you are solely boondocking and pulling your water from potable? Apparently I'm saying it wrong. Potable. If you're pulling your water from non-potable places, then you might want a Berkey or something that really filters water. But for us, if we're getting it from a place that we know is potable, then that's all you really need. 18 months, no sickness from, contaminated water sources.
Command stickers. No, I'm just kidding. You definitely need those. Do not leave your house without them.
Kristen's got us running around the biggest box store in Christmas season. It's fantastic. The looks. You know what? I mean, this aisle looks empty right now, but most of them are not, and we are doing this for you guys.
We can't believe that we didn't find a heated hose here, but you don't actually need a heated hose. All you need is some insulation and some heat tape, which they don't have here either, but you don't need the expensive fancy heated hose.
That's right. Yeah, if we were going to be stationary somewhere in the winter, then yeah, absolutely, I would consider that like a must-have, an essential. But if you're not, don't need it. You've heard about them, the really fancy, cool leveling technology out there. Some of it you can get on your phone, some of it you can just, there's all sorts of different things. Would I love one? Oh yes, I would love to have that kind of stuff. Is it truly essential? No. I mean, it's not, you guys. Right there in the front, sitting right on the front by the tongue jack, you can see that on the rig. You can level it. We use the blocks and it works well.
You don't need to bring, what is this called?
Fire pit.
You don't need to bring your fire pit with you. This might go without saying, but we actually brought ours with us when we first hit the road. We never used it a single time. Some people like to use the little propane fire pit heaters. That's awesome. As a full-timer, we just don't use it very often, so that's something we don't need. It's not an essential.
A TPMS, a tire pressure monitoring system. Those are the nice little valve caps that go on there, and will tell you or send it up to your car to say what your tire pressure is. Man, they make ones for the tow vehicle, they make ones for the rig. They're amazing. Do you need it? No. You know what I use? Here, flip it over. Right there. Now, it's convenient because if you see it on there and the tire pressure is rising or it's going down real fast, you can probably stop before you have a blowout. So it's not an essential, but man, I would love to have one, and maybe I will someday. So that one's kind of right on the line. It's handy, but it's also, not essential.
I have a dog bed here, but Cinder doesn't have a dog bed or a kennel. We don't need one. It just takes up extra space, and she quite prefers the couch, actually. So I know some of you will disagree, but we don't need a dog bed or a kennel.
A dog sweater?
A dog sweater.
Is that essential?
No, it's not, but it's so cute. Look at the foot of this. Wouldn't Cinder be so cute in this?
Let's move along. Kristen's making me do all of these because they're dude
related.
Yeah, they're dude related. All right, so I'm standing here by the batteries because in the store that we're in right now, there's nothing really to represent a solar setup. Full solar package would be amazing, but it's not essential. For boondocking and that kind of stuff, if you are going to be doing boondocking, then a good generator, I feel like, is essential. If you choose to spend the money on a solar package, which is gonna have a little bit more maintenance, a little more cost to it, it's better, in my opinion. It's quiet and it just runs and no one knows that you're running it. But a generator can run at night, all that kind of stuff. So in our opinion, the solar package is not essential. Look at this one.
What?
Does it have Wi-Fi?
Does it have Wi-Fi? Is it a smart toaster?
It's a smart toaster.
You don't need a toaster. In fact, you don't need anything in your RV that has one function. We toast everything on our griddle, which we also cook about 75% of our meals on.
Well, that or the Instant Pot.
Or the Instant Pot, right. So we don't have a toaster because it's only good for toasting and it takes up counter space. You don't need 100 blankets. You don't need 100 blankets.
Okay.
The number of blankets that we've left behind over the last 18 months is astounding. You really don't need a ton of blankets. One for each person is plenty. So what'd you think? Did anything on our list shock you? Let us know in the comments if there's anything that we listed that you need to have in your RV. We're curious. Let us know in the comments below anything that we listed that you don't think you would need? No, that's not right. I got all jibber jabbered. Okay, no, never mind. This is going south fast.